In my youth, I travelled to Karaz-a-Karak, the seat of the Dwarf High Kings, to study their law. For 7 years I stood behind the door of the Hall of Remembrance to prove my dedication to the Dwarf law. Finally, the locked doors were opened for me. And even then the Dwarf law masters were reluctant to part with their knowledge, and only taught me because of the long-standing friendship between the emperors and the Dwarf kings. Dwarfs are an ancient race, wide of girth, strong of arm, and stubborn of mind. Unless killed in battle, a dwarf can live to a very great age, as long as 400 years. Although the dwarfs claim that some of their runesmiths have lived considerably longer, I can scarcely believe these tales, even though it's not in a dwarf's nature to lie. The mighty World's Edge Mountains have been their home since time immemorial. Once, a long time ago, mighty dwarf strongholds formed an unbroken chain along the mountain range. Great were the halls and the vaults hewn of the mountains, and great was the clamour of the dwarf hammering and song-singing echoing in the depths. Now, alas, many of these once great holds resound only to the scampering feet of goblins. Dwarfs are the great smiths and craftsmen of the world. Not even elven smiths can match the skill and care of the dwarfs. It was the dwarfs who in days past forged the Runefangs, the 12th sword of the Empire, as a payment for the Sigmar's help against the Orcs during the Battle of Blackfire Pass. The Book of Remembrance claims that during the ancient times the mighty dwarf empire stretched across the entire World's Edge Mountains, from lands in Norska in the north to the distant Southlands, encompassing dozens of dwarf holds. But those days are long gone, only a memory recited in sagas, sung in the few dwarf halls that still survive. For long before the time of Sigmar, there was a war in the old world. Dwarf fought elf, elf fought dwarf. It seems for an entire age the slaughter continued, and many great battles were fought where both races suffered terribly. The war finally ended when the Dwarf High King defeated the Phoenix King in a single combat, and the elves retreated from the old world. Huge earthquakes and volcanic eruptions shattered the vaults and chambers of the dwarf holds, and broke the power of the dwarf empire for all time. Evil creatures from below the bowels of the earth then emerged to challenge the dwarf supremacy of the mountains and cast them onto the precipice of extinction, where they now fight. The dwarf armoured infantry commands well-deserved respect from any enemy who has ever stood against them. They are legendarily stubborn in defence of their mountain homelands, and are equally unrelenting in their assaults. Wearing armour forged deep within their mountain strongholds, their solid ranks of troops are virtually unstoppable in the close quarters. Such a regiment typically carries ancient axes, some of which have been used by many generations of their kin before them. Dwarf artillery is among the most potent and destructive machinery in the known world. The legendary dwarf engineers have developed many unique and powerful war machines, such as the gyrocopters, and flame cannons. Having no aptitude for magic, the dwarf army contains no wizards. Instead, they forge magical runes onto their weaponry, putting faith in the power of these symbols to aid them in battle. Longbeards are the most senior dwarf warriors of their strongholds. They are known for their strength, skill at arms, and long memory of any grudges that the dwarfs have against their enemies. Dwarfs are as strong and unbending as stone, and grim as the mountains they live on. From Karaz Akarak, the most ancient of the dwarf holds, the last high king of the dwarfs wages a never-ending war against orcs, goblins and other evil creatures. Each year the dwarfs' numbers dwindle. Each year, the war becomes more desperate. Each year, the enemies of the dwarfs become more numerous. In my mind, the wisdom of continuing this struggle is doubtful, even if its heroism is not. But as long as one of their warriors draws breath, they will not set aside their axes or forget their grudges. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, because in future episodes we will be taking a look at notable characters from the Dwarf Empire, battles that marked their history, and of course, slayers.
Look at them Yumis, walking around like the forest days. This time we show them who the boss around here, lads. Soon every Yumi around these parts will shine himself at the sound of the name Ruvak Stroomsniffer. The great one from beyond shall feast well tonight. Come, lads, to war!
Thank you for watching. On this channel, we're putting together fan-made cinematic episodes featuring historical and fantasy battles based on the settings from the Total War series and, of course, good old World of Warhammer. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and hit the notification button to be the first to watch the next battle.